This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. I've been playing video games my whole life. I love them. I remember the excitement of opening my first gaming console and the joy that brought me. That joy is the same joy that we're looking to bring to our viewers. We're forward thinking. I love the company, I love the people. As my dad always said, you're only as good as the people you're around. Altari's in a really unique position. He isn't tied down to any specific genre. There's the FPS division, the RTS division, the MMORPG division, and the indie development and unique products division. Between these 4 core pillars, Altari is able to compete at any game-based entertainment medium on the market today. This success hasn't come without its adversity. Some of our competitors have called us washed out. But we've never really focused on the growth. We've focused on satisfying our viewers like our founder did, and that's really what propelled our growth.
Yes! Oh, I'm so good. You know you are producing peak entertainment when you're too busy having fun to worry about the content.
Oh my god. Ow.
It's awesome. I love it. I really do love it. Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully everyone can hear me. We are having an issue. Of course we're having an issue. Getting everything going over to Twitch here. But hello everyone on YouTube. I'm Altari, the professional gamer, and of course our restream is encountering issues. So I'm gonna have to try and figure this one out really quickly, but you know, this is just what we do. Unfortunately, it looks like one of our interns is about to get fired. It's just how it happens. Sometimes interns come and sometimes interns go. So that's just what we're going to do. And I need to make sure that everything here is looking okay. Hopefully you all loved that little intro that we had there. Welcome to everyone that is here as well. Goodness gracious, Gonzaga, thank you for all of the gifted subs on Twitch. Oh, that makes me feel even worse that we are having an issue getting that set up here. Give me a quick little second. We might just need everyone to switch over to YouTube. That might be the only way. Steam just allowed for restreaming to be a thing, so my guess is we are encountering a little bitty of an issue here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we might be encountering an issue. All right, let me go ahead and make sure that everyone over here gets over to the YouTube channel. And we will go ahead and get started. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I know I am. I have had so much fun putting together all of these YouTube videos for everyone. And it has just, the channel, everything has exploded in a way that I could never imagine. Of course, the stream is having a little bit of an issue, but that's okay because we are going to overcome like we overcome everything else. definitely, if we're gonna give it a little while here for people to transition over to the Twitch side, or from the Twitch side over to the YouTube side. I do apologize for that. That is unfortunate, but it is the way of things. And oh man. Well, I'm so glad that all of you could make it here. We will start momentarily once I fix this. So everyone go ahead and head over to YouTube if you haven't done so. We will resolve this issue later. Sometimes in life, you're just dealt an L. That's not today, because we are about to hand out some alpha keys. I know that's what everyone here is waiting for. So we're going to get to that pretty much immediately. There we go. All right, let's make sure everything here is set up the way that it needs to. Should be okay. And I will send that one more time. We are going to end the stream on Twitch. Again, I do apologize for that. And all right. We're on YouTube now. We're only on YouTube. Only on YouTube. Shadowcaster, if you're here, we're gonna have to figure out the which it looks like you are. Thank you. We're gonna have to figure out that Twitch problem. All right, so first and foremost, we are going to be giving away 15 alpha keys on this Pax FriDEI review live edition. For all of you who are wondering if for some reason you haven't seen one of our Pax FriDEI reviews, the Pax FriDEI review is where we take all of the fun, interesting, new, and exciting information that has dropped for Pax Day over the last week and summarize it for all of you. Today, we are going to be going into the Pax Day Alpha. We're going to be showing some stuff off. We're actually going to go on Pax Ian. We might even take a little bit of adventure on my main Eltari. And we are going to explore a little bit. We have 2.5 hours of fun that is planned here. But before we get too far carried away, I do want to announce the first five of our winners for the Pax Day Home Valley Alpha. The first 5. We have 2 more sets. We will give one out again at about an hour and a half from now. And we are going to just unveil what we've got. So, yeah. Do you think you won? There was a 3.3% chance that all of you won. 441 entrants. Some of those were bots. We did clean that up. We cleaned it up a lot, actually. Some people think that they can get away from the professional gamer, but they cannot get away from the professional gamer because we have professional staff who can sniff bots out like a hound dog. And we found them. We found all of them, and we nixed them. We nixed them from the from our roster, from our possible potential applicants. And before we unveil it, I do want to say, just again, for everyone who's still joining, thank you again for all of your support so far. And this channel really has blown up. It is super fun. This is something that I just started as a hobby. My friends said, Eltari, you spend too much time playing games. My wife said that too. But they said, you spend a lot of time playing video games. Why don't you entertain some people and see how they like it? And I did. And we started the channel in earnest about a year ago. Actually, we released a couple of small videos about I think it was New World, and then one very violent one about Ashes of Creation. We kind of found our place in terms of our styling, but we didn't have a game that we were passionate about. I'm slightly passionate about Ashes of Creation, but I wanted something that I could feel deep down in the bottom of my bones, and that's what happened in February of this year. And Pax Day was announced, and I knew I was in love. I know you guys are going to be in love as well. All of you will be in love with Pax Day. If you haven't made it in yet, there's a 3.35% chance that you're about to. And we are going to just go ahead and do it. I'm bad with names. I'm bad with names. So I will probably ruin at least one of these at some point in time. Let's go ahead and see who the first 5 are. First 5, here we go. And there we are. Degassi, Two Santos, Grandpasaurus, FEMA 11, and Javi. Congratulations. You are the proud recipients of a Pax Day Alpha Key. Congrats. We still have 10 more to give away, and we are going to announce those throughout the stream. It will happen. It is going to come. And at the end, once everything is said and done, I will be personally emailing the winners. And by emailing, I mean sending a Discord message to the winners. Look at me all corporate like that. And we are going to move this text box over there. But I will message all of you individually if you won, if you indeed won. If there's any question about whether or not you won, I will message you. But here are the first 5. I just want to get that out. I wanted that out there. I wanted people to see it. I wanted people to know that we were legit. We're going to go ahead and crack open a Waterloo in celebration. Congratulations, y'all. The office was just freshly stocked with some Waterloo. I'm not sponsored by them. It would be great. I consume too much of it. All right. So what are we doing? What are we going to do this stream? So I wrote something down somewhere. I have some notes. I have some notes for the stream. It said, tell everyone they're awesome. We have an FAQ. You all can ask me any questions that you have. Any questions you are able to ask me. I will try my best to answer them for you. If you have any questions about Pax Day, if you have any questions about me, we are going to talk about that. We could talk about that right now if you wanted to. In fact, that's what we are going to do. We have an FAQ. So I'm just going to be pulling stuff from the YouTube chat here. If you have any questions about Pax Day, if you have any questions about the channel, if you have any questions about me, feel free to ask, and I will answer. Will there be skilling in Pax Day, kind of like New World or RuneScape? So in terms of skilling right now in the alpha, there are skills you can level up your like crafting disciplines. There are skills that are listed for weapons for combat. They have like single-handed weapons. They have, I think there might even be a double-handed weapon in there as well. And, oh, look at that. There is indeed a typo. Thank you, Dawn, for letting me know. So anyways, that being said, however, we are talking about skills in Pax Day right now. There is actually combat skills. There's a skill, I believe, for like sprinting. I think there might even be a skill for jumping. And I'll be able to show that in game here in a little bit as well. Skill progression is going to essentially function the same way that it does in Valheim. You progress, you gain more skills. The more that you are using whatever uses that skill. So if you are using a single-handed sword, then you're going to get skills in that single-handed sword. Now, I don't think it's actually enabled in game right now, and I can check that when we get in here in a little bit. But ideally, and the way that I believe it's intended, is that you will be able to use that. So good question there. But yeah, skills, you're going to be essentially leveling them up as you go. And the developers have mentioned that we will be limited to what we can use from a weapon based on what skill level we have in that weapon. So one of the examples that they gave was the Sacred Sword of Theonios. And the Sacred Sword of Theonios has a special ability that allows you to do extra damage against demons, but you have to have a particular skill leveled up. I believe it was in light magic or something like that. So you wouldn't be able to take advantage of that sword in its full capacity unless you were leveled up all the way to that point. So there is some limitations there for essentially a really nice way of limiting large groups of players from just insta leveling someone to the top of the charts by just giving them the best gear. Since Pax Dei is very reliant on gear for your build and all of that, you actually have to put time into the game in order to level up your actual skills so that you can use the gear that's been given to you. How do you join my clan? So for the Golden Company, we are a group that is limited to 100 players. Our goal is to set out and establish the Golden City, which is a place where anyone can live. It's not just the Golden Company. And we are essentially there to establish, organize, coordinate, and protect all of the citizens of the Golden City. So that in order to join, you have to reach out to me on Discord, and I can give you some more information on that. Do note that we have an extensive interviewing process and vetting process to make sure that we are getting only the best of the best for our members and that you jive well with our community. And then any of you actually can become citizens of the Golden City. So that'll be something that I'm really excited to develop further on as we go. All right, let's see here. Let's see what other questions we have. Are they going to implement vendors you can place and hire so you can sell items you craft? I don't know if they've stated specifically yes or no to that answer. I think at one point they might have mentioned that it wasn't even, I think, specifically related to Pax Dei. It was just Thor, the CEO for Mainframe. He was talking in basically a game developer panel, and he might have mentioned something, and maybe I'm misquoting him here, where your player character will actually, when you log off, your player character can actually kind of function as almost an NPC. So you're never actually logged off. Your character is always existing, and you can potentially tell them what to do while they're logged off or while you're logged off, kind of thing. So if you wanted to be a merchant selling stuff, then your character would go and be a merchant and sell stuff when you're not online. Like stationary in your home or something like that. I don't know how they would even code that. So that's so far down the line that we're talking at least a year, at least 2 years probably. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can change this this name here for y'all. Yeah, that's gonna have to get changed in post, is what we say. The Pax FriDEI is just what it is today. Okay, let's see here. A couple more questions. We'll work with magic. I'm just curious how it's going to look in a few years. Jupe Van Houten? Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested in obviously watching this kind of continue to develop. Let's see. Has there been any discussion on the clutter of your home/community hubs that you know of? Home/community hubs, Kruthu Solias. If you could be a little bit more specific on that, I could probably try and answer it for you. Is there a limit on clan members in Pax Days? Asked by Certified Dingus. Awesome name, by the way. I don't know if there has been a clan cap that has been met yet. That's a good question. There hasn't been up until just this last Monday, I think, enough people to even get close to that. All in one clan. So it's definitely something that we'll be able to test sooner rather than later. But Mainframe has not mentioned specifically if they plan on including any type of cap on your clan size. They have mentioned in different light several different ways of players being able to organize themselves. They mentioned the church, they mentioned kingdoms, and they also mentioned guilds. So there's actually the possibility that players can be members of multiple organizations, and that would be really cool to see. Is the Pax FriDEI because we're working with fur today. You know what? We are probably going to be knocking down some trees. I don't think they're fir. However, I think they're going to be more of like a beechwood type. But we are probably going to be knocking down some trees, enjoying some tree gameplay here. I don't think anyone has the clan come. Okay. Yep. Cool. Alliances? Yes. I would imagine since they take a lot of their cut from the cloth of Eve, there will be some sort of alliance system or something like that. Okay, Solias. So clutter as in items to place around your home or town, fill out and make it look lived in. Lamps, combs, baskets, food, tools, weapons. I will be able to show you that in the very near future, actually. So there are some plots that are available, and by plots I mean props that are available for you to place within your home, and you can actually get quite a good decent number of just things to make your home look lived in. Obviously there's going to be a lot more for that in the near future, and that is going to be something that's going to constantly be put out by the devs as they get more art assets. For my understanding, art assets are kind of like the last thing that happens in development sometimes, especially for like building props. So the ones that are already existing in game are actually a really good sign that we're going to have a lot of opportunities in the future. In regards to the Golden Company, how is it that you intend to maintain infrastructure for citizens of the city that aren't members of the company? Streets, guild halls, housing plots, etc. That's a good question. So the plan as it stands right now is the Golden Company is going to manage a lot of the public works for the city. And we're going to provide public utilities, so crafting stations and all of that, high tier crafting stations. We are under the impression that there are higher tier crafting stations available that we have not seen yet and don't know of. It's just kind of the hints and cues that have been left in the game so far. That would make us think that there would be more. For example, there's higher tier smithing stations, but there's not higher tier looms. There's only a level 1 wood processing station, and there's a lot of time sinks. So it's potentially a possibility that they're going to add additional higher tier processing stations that allow you to do stuff quicker or allow you to do more things or to process higher quality items. So we're going to provide public utilities, and we'll use our plots to provide public spaces. And then in terms of the Golden City itself, if you want to become a citizen, you just have to contribute a plot to the city, and you can place whatever you want to on your plot as long as you adhere to our building standards. There will be a kind of a list And there will be benefits to adhering to those standards. Obviously, we won't be able to keep everyone from just not, being a troll and placing something, but we can just build a wall around you. So maybe don't do that. But the idea is that we're creating a community that a lot of players other than the Golden Company want to call this place home. We're going to create a lot of storylines for people to experience, a lot of change in the city over time. One, it keeps our builders busy, so I can keep them on the payroll. But also it allows for us to create content, and content is what keeps people coming online every day. It's what keeps people wanting to actually come and be a part of a community. So good question there. Hopefully I answered it. All right. Let's see here. Hopefully I don't miss anyone's questions, but if I do, I apologize. All right, next up, did I experience content in previous alphas that are not in the current alpha, like combat, magic systems, exploration systems? I wouldn't be able to talk to it if I did. But even if I can, for the most part, say that magic is pretty much what magic has been. I haven't seen anything that is in the current alpha. I'll be explicitly clear here. Anything that is in the current alpha is what I experienced previously. But that's about as far as I can probably explain it without mainframe knocking on my door. Question. Assuming trees and plants grow back after being felled and harvested, how long does it take for them to regrow? And do they regrow gradually, or do they just pop up where they were? Spartan Rex, that is a good question. Trees do respawn. There is currently an observation that if you harvest the same tree too many times, it takes longer and longer to come back, and sometimes it might not ever come back. So that is something that can happen. And it is definitely a thing that you're going to need. If you have a large city with a lot of people, you might have to have like an arborist or something like that tell people what segments of a forest they could harvest over the course of a day, just to make sure that you're not destroying high value trees, because larger trees actually do yield more wood. So it's important to preserve those. What would happen to the Golden City if a player that claimed land in a key area decided no longer to play? You get to keep the claimed land that you have built over. Mainframe actually hasn't talked about that yet. They said that there's going to be systems that will help with that. And ultimately, that's why for the Golden Company, at least, there's a pretty extensive interview process to make sure that we're getting upstanding people to join our group. And hopefully, I don't want to turn this stream into like a recruitment, but I do appreciate all the questions. It's nice to talk about. Did I see the player he was playing on Steam Deck? I know it's not optimized right now, but dang it, that is pretty nice. Yeah, Pax Dei is supposed to be a multi-console, multi-platform game. It's developed to be cloud native, so we've seen a lot of gameplay footage. Well, not a lot, but we've seen it being played on like mobile devices and stuff like that already. There's a build of Pax Dei at some point that existed that allowed that to happen. I'm sure people have gotten it on to a Steam Deck or something like that. No one is able to play it right now on Steam. It's all on the client. So it would be a little weird or wonky to get that onto a Steam Deck, but I'm sure you can, and I'm sure it's playable. Though it might be a little wonky. And controller support is also something that's going to come out as well. Let's see. And yes, it is going to be a place that smaller groups can come and congregate. Medium-sized groups can come and congregate. Larger groups probably want to build their own thing. But if they ever wanted to come and hang out with us, they're more than welcome to. This might be too deep of a question for this format. What kinds of endgame will Pax Dei have? What gameplay loops will there be to keep interest, to get loot eventually gets old? Yeah, so one of the things that Pax Dei's devs have said is that there's going to be these things that we can discover in the world that are very much so a thing that it would take an entire community to solve these mysteries. And they can be very big, they can be very small. And I was just talking to someone about this the other day. We were talking about the size of the maps. And if you look at the maps, and I'll show you guys when we get in game here in a little bit, but if you look at the maps, I think Innis Gallia, which I believe is supposed to be like the middle of the Gallian region, it has maybe 6 or 7, maybe even 8 connections to other maps. And then those other maps have connections to at least 3 other maps. So I think if you calculate it out, Gallia could potentially have up to like 16 different maps on it. Each map is huge. And if you watched any of my like walkthrough time-lapse videos, those took me over an hour to just go from one side of the map to another side of the map. And that doesn't include doing that multiple times. Like, I could never cover the entire thing. It would take me 60 hours or more to try and uncover every last thing. So where I'm going with that is these maps are huge. There's not going to be a lot of players per server in relation to the size of the maps. I mean, I think they've said 20,000 was a number that they threw around at one point for the total number of players that can exist on a world shard. And 20,000 players is a lot, but it's not a lot when you take into perspective that you could probably fit 20,000 players, not technically speaking, but you could fit more than 20,000 players in the land size that's available right now, and players wouldn't be bumping into each other all the time. There would be space in between groups. Now, the servers can't handle that, obviously, but there's a huge amount of space. So these lore bits that they're adding into the game, that they're putting around everywhere, there's a possibility that we might not even discover something for years and years and years. And that can unlock new content, that can unlock, obviously, new weapons, new things like that. But in terms of Endgame, I perceive there being kind of that aspect, the lore aspect, discovering things, finding out new things about Pax Dei. I also see there being possibly some kind of kingdom dynamic. They mentioned kings or kingdoms before. And in medieval times, we know that what was one thing that constantly existed? We know that there was a feudal system during medieval times. So there could be vassals and kingdoms that form, and clans pledge fealty to a kingdom. And then there's a whole gameplay loop tied in with that. We know that there's going to be a whole gameplay loop tied with religion and the church. They mentioned that you could be a pope. So there's going to be things that motivate players for the sake of doing things, not necessarily for the sake of just whatever, but for the sake of doing things. And like becoming the pope or becoming this ruler of a kingdom that spans multiple maps and multiple regions. Some of those could be more PvE focused. Some of those could be more PvP focused. But part of the aspect of Pax Dei is that it's kind of a game that you can get lost in and just do fun things in. So you start off pretty much already into Endgame, and the only thing that you need to do is really level up skills. But you have access to everything that someone who is the highest tier player in the game has the most amount of skills. You have access to everything they do. The only difference is you'll probably die if you try and go after a dragon. So hopefully that answered that question. Can I give you instructions on how to get to the Golden City? If you're in the alpha, yes. And I can show you where it is. And some people will probably grieve it. That's fine. Will the Golden Company develop a city plan before you open it up to citizens, such as road layouts, public attractions, markets, blah, blah, blah? Solias, yes. Yeah, the whole purpose is we're actually going to have our own Discord for the Golden City so that players can congregate and do whatever they need to do, sell stuff, do all of that thing so that we can manage the community. But in addition to that, we will be also planning the city out and making sure that we have a place to go. in that we have something to build off of before players start coming in. And we'll have segments where players should be able to build, and then we'll block off other segments so that we can place certain city planned structures there. So yes, we are going to be doing that. How functional are game systems from a perspective of solo player? Asked by Gothans. Gothans, yeah, you can play solo in Pax Dei. In fact, a lot of the systems right now that do exist are kind of more designed for a solo player. What I mean by that is obviously you can build a really big castle as a really big group. You can also build a really big castle as a solo player. The only difference is that it takes a little bit less time for a group of players to do it than you do. Now, where solo playing might come in a little bit more difficult is doing things like in dungeons or something like that. Now, that doesn't mean you won't be able to do them. It just means that you have to take a different approach. You can't just go running through with a club and murder everything on sight. You're going to have to be a little bit more conscious. But yeah, solo play is definitely something that you can do in Pax Dei. And there's actually not that much to do as a big group right now in game anyways. So a lot of players are basically playing solo anyways. Good question. Next up, do you think the idea is that the devs will be constantly dropping new secrets, tombs, dungeons, entrances without us noticing, maybe hinting at it? How do you think that would go? I definitely think they will. Or they're going to do something like that. I think they're taking a very strong approach towards data mining as well. Like, we won't actually be able to even mine where specific things are kept, so that they try and keep it very spoiler free. So they could entirely, the thing that I like about Pax Dei is that when you're out exploring, when you're out doing all of this, you go and look and you see this rock formation that looks kind of weird, and you don't know if it means something or not. So you go over there and you go and discover whether or not it is. And they've even described that a dungeon could be revealed when the moon shines on a rock in a particular way, and then it shows a button that you push and it opens up a trapdoor into a dungeon. Those things are things that we won't discover unless we're just making observations throughout the world. It's not going to be you walk by and it says press F. So there are going to be things that we're going to continually discover throughout time. So they're probably going to continue to operate behind the scenes and add stuff in. They don't tell us. They haven't told anyone yet, or at least they haven't told me whether or not something is or isn't in game, and it hasn't shown up in a patch note or anything like that. But people have discovered new things with dungeons all the time. Secret passages that lead into dungeons already. So there's definitely room for a lot of that in the future. I don't want to spoil everything for everyone. They said live ops are planned but not implemented yet. Yes, exactly, Bunzaga. Medieval time, Dymark. Urine in a bucket. We'll be able to do that in game. Yeah, I don't know. Blood. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it that way. There is dying in game. I don't know if the dying station is currently working. It was something that existed earlier on in the patch, and a couple of players still have die stations from when they had it built, but I don't think it functions right now. But we used to be able to kind of modify and change stuff. I think there was just something broken with it. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let's see. We have about 45 minutes before we're going to do our next reveal of who has won an alpha key. But before we do that, it's time to go and play the game. We are going to go and play Lagom. Let me just make sure that I can see everyone here. Make sure that that is all functioning properly. And yeah, let's go do it. So this is going to be the first time I've actually streamed Pax Dei. It does have a little bit of a performance issue on my rig. I'm currently working on getting it upgraded. I do apologize if there is any issues, but we will work on it. You can even see it kind of starting to lag up a bit here. That's as it loads. That is to be expected. So Stephen Weiss, in order to win a key, you will have to have signed up on our Discord as kind of the prerequisite here. So to start off, we are going to play on Paxian. That is our character here. Take some of the PCs behind me. Yeah, this is the R&D department. These are all very much so in development rigs, proprietary. My researchers wouldn't allow me to use them even if I wanted to. My specs are a 2080 Ti, water cooled, so it can overclock. I think a 9900K Intel processor, Windows 10, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and a 1440p monitor that can go up to 240 hertz, but never does because we're definitely chugging. No, Waterloo is a sparkling beverage. It's kind of like LaCroix. You've heard of LaCroix? Or bubbly. It's literally just carbonated water. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Gonna make sure that everything comes out okay on the stream. It looks like it is, but in case it's not, we'll check and fix that. Also looks like we came in at nighttime. Go ahead and minimize. You are right there. Oh, and it looks like we are just in the nick of time for it to become daytime. It does get darker before it gets brighter. That is something that is intended to be fixed in the future, but they just turned everything on in order to have it all on for this alpha. Something that they've mentioned in the past. AC, I believe you asked what's my favorite hit song from ABBA. Is that correct, sir? Is that something that you were truly wondering? Selias, have they implemented a weather system? Yes, kind of. So I think eventually there will be a UI element or a graphical element to it. It will not be something that is going to like destroy your structures or anything like that. And it is pretty much exclusively going to be just graphical, environmental. It is my favorite ABBA song. You are correct. I hope they keep the undisclosed additions to the game. Example, the Elite Dangerous Years of Travel aliens, and just waited for their first encounter. It was a magical moment. So yes, I definitely think they are going to keep undisclosed editions a part of the game, and the length of the day and night cycle are relatively healthy, I would say. I would err on the side of maybe 35 to 40 minute day cycles and then about 15 to 25 minute night cycles. Yeah, it's not a short period of time. Be very clear, it's not short, but it is definitely something that is not long either. Where I've seen people play through, night lasts a good while, which is good in your opinion. What were the earthquakes they mentioned in the Discord? Okay, so there was a bug that existed in the game where in a couple of the regions, I believe, buildings were just falling apart. It was quite a terrifying thing, and it was not really an enjoyable experience for all the people who spent a lot of time building stuff up. Fortunately, they were able to recover whatever they were, whatever caused the issue, and fix the problem. Rain and snow. Rain is something that I believe we've seen before in screenshots. I have not seen any snow yet. I do think that snow will exist in game at some point, but it's just not something that exists right now. Right now we're out gathering some rough animal hides so that we can refine that into some leather. We're also going to go visit a nice little house over here and on the side, the prairie, or badgers. Back when my clan played New World, we were allies with a group called Badger Bomb. They were a very nice group of people. I see different types of cooking where there'll be a way to make drinkables, ales, wines, etc. So that's actually an interesting thing. Let me see if I can show that here. So I won't be able to show it on this character, but I will show it to you on Eltari when we go over to Eltari here in a bit. And here's a great example of some of the bugs that currently exist. This might actually have been an effect of the earthquake. Let's see if we can get in there. This plot was probably unclaimed, I think. It was owned by Ubister. And looks like it was destroyed and the chests are left hanging. That is a bug. That is not intended to exist in the final game. So what we're going to do here is we're going to chop down a couple of things of stone. By things of stone, I mean things of wood. And then we're going to go hit some stone. We're actually farming some stuff up for the third and final episode of the Fresh Start character experience. And you'll probably be able to see that later this upcoming week. But there's some extra work that has to be done before we can do that. So one of the things that you all are you probably are noticing here is that there is trees that exist that are too hard, and it's specifically these pine trees are difficult. The reason for that is the axe that I'm using is a one-handed stone axe. Stone axes are the lowest tier, and they don't give you access to very many types of trees that you can actually chop down. The Golden Company is currently settled in Ardennes in Innisgallia. That was where we were asked to build for the alpha reveal live stream by Mainframe. And for a lot of people, I know people were asking about this, especially in the chat and the different comments on the YouTube videos. So these are the current settings that you can affect in Pax Dei. You can turn off motion blur, but it's not noticeable sometimes. It's kind of annoying. Gary, your YouTube name should not have an effect on the Discord. As long as your Discord is currently filled out in there and you applied on Discord, then we will be able to reach out to you. So don't worry about it. All right, so then these trees are more of the like beachy kind of trees that we actually can chop down. And here's a good example of skills as well, which reminds me that I do want to show you all the skills so that we can talk about that and kind of show that part off. We did just level up our wood cutting. Do I think that the devs may consider letting us mine underground for resources and possibly build there? Mine, subsurface mining? Yes. I think that you'll be able to go into caves at some point, and you might be able to find resources in there that you can mine. Digging a hole yourself is just something that is probably not going to work well for the Unreal Engine 5, because that means you're changing like the mesh for the world, and that would get really complicated really quickly. So that might be a little difficult. Ooh. Like I said, we'll switch over to Altari here after we do a little bit more gathering, and we will probably go and venture into a nearby cave, or we might do some building. Really depends on what you all want us to do. How has resource gathering felt? Well, we're doing it right now, actually. In terms of my perspective, I think that it actually takes a decent amount of time. I don't think it takes too long, but I do think that it is rewarding. So you can see that I do have some crafting skills that have gone up. These ones do actually go up, and they actually progress, and you use them for different crafts. Now, combat, on the other side, it doesn't really level up right now. You might be asking why. Well, that's because the combat system isn't really in-game yet, so it's not representative of the final product in any way, and that's why those skills don't exist. But we can see that there are hand axes, one-handed clubs, one-handed swords, two-handed axes, two-handed clubs, two-handed swords, and we also have block, dodge, bows, jump, melee attack, ranged attack, and sprint. So I don't know how bows is different than ranged attack, but those are the skills that exist in the game right now. So we can theory craft as to what all of those are going to be till the night is old, but it's eventually going to get updated and changed anyways. Carry weight limits. So you can see that this bag down here at the bottom where it says tab, that bag is getting close to full. It's not really a carry weight. It's more so just symbolizing that I have no more slots left. So I'm pretty sure if I just open up here and add random small stacks to my inventory, if I close it, now my bag's full. So the bag right now is just symbolic of how many slots you still have open in your inventory. It's not necessarily specific to how much weight you're actually carrying. And wow, we're just experiencing a lot of the bugs today. So this one is also a pretty funny bug. So when you have your plot on top of a mountain or on top of a rock face like I do, sometimes when you spawn back, you can actually end up under the ground instead of on top of. So that is what just happened there. We're just transferring a couple of things here, and then we will most likely hop over onto Altari. We can take a look through the Golden City, and then we can go take a jump down into a dungeon too. It'd be pretty fun. I can actually show you all some magic when we get over to Altari as well. But in order to switch to your spells, you can actually just press C and it switches over to spells. And then you have an inventory of spell slots that are right here. Right now, I think you can only get maybe 5 or 6 different spells. I don't think we can even fill up the bottom spell bar, and all of those are connected to specific items that you craft for yourself in game. So I can actually show some of that for you here. We have the basic leatherworking table, which has, you can see right here, Shaubia's pauldron. And it says this emanates an aura of blessed warmth and strength. So this specific spell gives you the ability to cast a buff on players in an area. So really useful to have. And that is a particular spell that you can actually craft. And I'll show you some more on Altari here in a bit. Get some wood chop in here just to get that going while we look at chat. Is there a bag leveling for more slots that I've seen? There has been no real leveling up of inventory slots that we've seen yet. It's entirely possible that you might be able to get larger inventory slots in different things. I know someone else just asked something about caravans or wagons. That is also something that I do expect to exist, or at least in some way. I know that in the original trailer we saw a mule, right? And that mule probably has some sort of inventory. Currently, all of the different chests that we have access to in game all give you 20 slots of storage. So it gives you 12 less slots than what a player can hold, but they're all giving you basically the same number of slots. How does teleporting work? By Granny. What's up, Granny? Teleporting right now, I don't know if that's going to be something that exists in the final product of the game, but teleporting, basically you just press and hold T, and then you select either your plot, if you're in the same region as your plot is, or you can teleport to Shrine. When you teleport to Shrine, it teleports you to one of those stone obelisks that exists in-game, and it teleports you basically to whichever one's closest. So it's a great way to traverse really quickly in-game. I don't know if that's going to be something that exists as prominently as it does in its current state. I do expect there to be carts and wagons that are added at some point, or at least horses. And when those are added, I am pretty sure that those will probably have the ability to carry more stuff. And that's going to be what helps players move materials for the economy. We'll go and hit some rocks here, and then we'll switch over to Altari. And when we do switch over to him, we'll have another alpha key giveaway. We have the next 5 ready to go. What's the food mainly used for in-game? So food, it gives you different buffs or deeps. So I just ate mushroom, and it decreases health and decreases my stamina. That is pretty much the effect that it has. I do not know what causes this effect, but are there no backpacks? Currently, no backpacks are in game. See if we can free up base here. Mushroom, and also got some havoc on our. Let's close some of these. We'll close some of these. There we go. See if we can free some stuff up. That is going to help. Hit a reset. You just got to read. Now we are having some. Well, while I go and fix this really quick, we can answer some more questions and let our encoders speed up the process here. I do apologize for the difficulties that we are having in stream. And we will fix that up really quick here. Yeah, it was having a little bit of a little wonk session there. See what we can fix here. See what we can get. All right. Thank you. All right, we will start things back up here. See what we can get. You know what? Just because we had to close out, guess what? We might as well go and do the next 5 alpha key giveaway here, and then we'll boot up Altari. We'll see where we can go from there. All right. So we already know that these were the winners of the first round, right? These are the first winners. Right? Well, here's the second 5. Let me move myself just so I can really share in the love here. So, Nose Goblins, Todd, Gui, the Coxie, and Califax, congratulations on winning your own Pax Dei Home Valley Alpha keys. I will be reaching out to you at the end of this stream in about an hour and a half, and I'll be distributing all of the keys to all of our winners. And that could work. Hopefully the stream is now working. And hopefully we can recover from this horrible loss that we have encountered in stream quality for a second. But yeah, Nose Goblins, Todd, Gui, the Coxie, and Califax, congratulations on winning your Home Valley Alpha keys. Congratulations. We still have 5 more to give away, and those will be at the end of the stream. Why? Because I like to torture you all. No, actually, it's just because I have some more stuff that I want to show in Pax Day, as long as we can get this stream actually functioning the way that I want it to function. And we will get there. It's going to happen. We might also try and push this off in the direction of Twitch again. Shadowcaster, if you're out there, go ahead and let me know if working better. If it's not, then I will turn it off again. But I want to see. I want to know. But congratulations again to all of the winners. Super excited. You all can join us for the next 9 days, 8 days, something like that. Hopefully we also fixed our latency issues here. Latency, buffering, something like that. First new streams always have a little bit of a complication. It's just the way Just the way it is. All right, so here we are in the Golden City. We are chugging along. Still daytime, thankfully, so we can show the resplendent glory that is the city. Now, we were hit by a couple of people who were griefing. It was quite unfortunate, so it's not as splendiferous as it used to be. But we do have an announcement for something for everyone who is in the alpha that we are going to share towards the end of the stream as well. It's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. But you'll just have to stay tuned to find out what that is. So, got a great lag spike there. As we load in every chunk that has ever existed in the game. So what we can see right here is whenever I have people in our group build, I try and challenge them to build unique shapes and not just build square boxes or giant mansions. Because ultimately, when we build the city, we don't want there to just be giant McMansions sitting around everywhere. We want everything to have a very strong purpose, and in order to do that, we need to have the ability to build these structures that have a purpose, but don't just look like giant squares. So this is a good example of some of the stuff that we look at for that. Then we also try and build these giant set pieces. So this is a great example of a tower. Actually, the two towers that are on screen, they're both built by completely different players with completely different styles, and that's intentional. I wanted to see what each of them were capable of, and we're going to see how well we can actually get up here with us jittering around like a crazy Lagosaurus. Sometimes in life, you just gotta live on the edge, and that is what we're doing here. All right, here we are. Yeah, so this is pretty much the entirety of the Golden City. We have a couple of things that we're kind of actively working on here. This is in Ardennes, in this Gallia, and you can actually see where we are right here. We have a couple of people who are online right now building, but we are located on this hill. We call it the hill, and that's where we have been building. But over off in the distance over there, you can see that we have a castle that we're working on. It got hit really hard by griefers, so I don't know if we're going to continue it or if we're going to repurpose it for something else. What would be my guess on a release date? Is it a long way off? I do think that we're at least 2 years off. We might be more than 2 years off. It's entirely possible. And I think we'll get into a final, like, early access type situation, or kind of an open beta where it'll essentially just be them releasing more and more maps over and over and over and over until we get to the status of a full game, and then it'll be fully launched. I haven't been told any of that. That's literally just my guesses on the matter. But I would say we're at least maybe a year before we get into some sort of early access, and then we'll be at least a year or more after that. It really depends on how quickly they're able to develop maps, and also whether or not they run into any development issues with their game design. So we know that there's going to be more permissions, there's going to be something to do with kingdoms, something to do with churches, something to do with magic, knowledge. There's a lot of systems that are going to exist in game. So if any one of those things end up being a little bit more difficult to make, then it's going to take a little bit longer. What was done to grief you guys? Can they destroy buildings? So I wouldn't call it griefing. I would call it kind of just wanting to see the world burn, maybe. I don't know. I guess that is griefing. But technically it wasn't. And we're not really upset about it. We built this giant city with the intent of showing it off to all of you. We knew that this is where the Pax Dei live stream was going to be, and they wanted us to build here. So we built a lot of stuff. And the devs were really nice to give us some like aerial footage of it. It was super cool. They were super accommodating of us. And we built a lot as a result. Like, we built more than what we should have. And what I mean by that is when you're given a plot, you're not given that much space. And you only have so much to work with. And we essentially, in order to build all of this, we only had about 19 players in the alpha to build, and to begin with we only had 4, and then we were given some more keys to get some people in. But originally we had 4 people in the game ready to go, and we had to start building, so we did. And when you have a plot, your plot is not this size. Your plot is very small. Your plot is incredibly small, actually, in comparison to what we have here. And what we did is we would build in a chunk, and then we would unclaim our plot, and then we would go to the next plot, and then we would claim that, and then we'd go to the next one, and we'd unclaim the last one, and we'd keep going. So this one right here is currently not protected. All right? The one that's down there, that is one of the Golden Company members, Velius, and that is his plot. That's how big it is. You can see the reference of that plot versus all of this. This is probably like 7, 8, maybe 9 plots worth of stuff. It is a very large amount of plots worth of things. And we're not covering any of those. And I'm probably going to regret even sharing that on stream, because people are going to just be like, oh, time to go grief them. But that is what it is. And we build because we like building. And if someone comes by and destroys it because they like chaos, then that is what it is. But there's only so many players and so many plots, and we're going to keep building. So Sparta Rex asked, is there any buffer area between plots? If players are not related, can other players build right up next to your plot if it is private or clan? I believe that regardless of whether or not you're a private or clan plot, if you build your plot, or if you place your plot next to someone else's, then they will merge, and not merge, but they will both gain extra space as a result. So theoretically, I believe it is possible right now, if you wanted to box someone in, that you could, and that's something that needs to be tested. But at the same time, you can't really get boxed in because you can just teleport yourself out and teleport yourself back in. That's not a permanent solution, and I think Mainframe is actively thinking of ways to make that not an issue in the future. But that's kind of what has to be dealt with in the current time. You can see right here, this is something that we had a player working on and playing around with the different build types and all of that. And we're going to be changing that into something exciting here in the near future. And then here is, if we look on the map, some of you might have noticed that there is this symbol right here. It looks kind of like a query. That's because it is a query. Now, queries in game right now, you can't really interact with them in any specific way, but you can go to them and they will have a large amount of a certain type of resource that's dropping with them. So in this particular one, it's impure iron. So there's some impure iron nodes that exist around here, and I think they have a higher spawn rate, But I think eventually this might be something that clans can go and modify or upgrade or something like that, and they'll be able to get like an iron mine from it instead, which would be really cool. And these exist both inside and outside of home valleys. So for those of you who aren't in the alpha yet, there's these red lines, and these kind of demarcate the home valley. It also marcates where, when you transfer over this line, you're actually moving over to another server. It's for the most part seamless, and you can't really notice unless you look really hard. But when you move over into a different server. That server basically is the wildlands. So it's the lands just outside of your home valley. And there's some other POIs that exist in there. Some of the higher tier dungeons are in existence out in this area as well. And there's a lot of places to go and explore. Now, when you see all of these different things, you'll notice that there are some mines that exist outside of those red lines. So it might be something maybe in the future, if PvP is able to be turned on in this area, the wilderness, then that's somewhere where you would actually be able to experience and have fights over to gain the resources for a period of time or something like that. Then there's also the other points of interest that are here. This is a shrine, so this is what you can teleport to. This is a POI, it's a windmill, and right now there's Sethians that are there, and we can fight those over and over and over again to get some good loot. And then these are just various ruins of the ancient Gallian Empire, and there are some Zebians that exist there. Zebians are kind of like almost zombies, almost vampires in some way, and that's kind of where they are and what they do. Our travel times, like to go from one valley to another. So if you're teleporting, I can get to like Arus, which is just to the north of us, pretty quickly. I can jump over to this shrine, and then it's about a 3 to 5 minute walk, and then I can teleport once I get close enough to this shrine, and then it's about another 3 to 5 minute walk to get through here, and then you're inside Arus. So it doesn't take too much time, but it does definitely take some time, and it gets larger. The travel times get bigger the farther you go, obviously, but it has a lot to do with traversing the map as well. So that is something that happens there as well. But travel times, definitely something that you need to consider. Like I said, for my time-lapse videos, it took me about an hour and 10 minutes to go from one gate to another in a region. So that's basically just going from one side of the map to another side of the map. Takes a while. Pickle, thank you for the resub. It'd be cool if they added gliders. I think it would be cool if they added like featherfall boots. Something like that. That made falling a little bit more forgiving than it is right now. But I don't know about gliders, because we're so deeply embedded in medieval lore and technology. Like, gliders didn't exist in medieval times. I don't even like Da Vinci was the Renaissance. That's after the medieval ages, right? But it could be cool. Just, I mean, seeing these cliffs, I want to go dive off of them. So, like, I get ya. I get ya. And taking time to get to places is important, because that's how economies actually work. It's, if you had the instant teleportation of goods from point A to point B, then it kind of turns into a little bit of a problem, because now there's instant response times by larger groups of players, which prevent smaller groups of players from being able to make a buck off of the game. And what I mean by that is, let's take, for example, you're a small group inside the Golden City, right? That small group is going to have access to the market of the Golden City and be able to respond to a change in market price a lot quicker than, let's say, someone took the stairs out right here, than a larger group that exists maybe 2 maps over. And the travel time that it takes for that group to get over and figure out what's going on and go about their business is a lot more than the travel time for the small group that's currently in the city. So they can benefit from that. And that's how you have disparity in the market, is by having these travel times. You can't just teleport with all of the goods that you need instantly like that. Are there market stalls to enable trading with non-clan players? Yes. If you kind of make it yourself. So it doesn't actually exist in game. It's intended to be something that exists later, but it's not something that exists currently, I believe. So there will be a market system that the devs alluded to. They haven't said exactly what it is, but they have mentioned that they do want it to be something where the economy is able to function out of it. So definitely probably going to be some kind of market stall or something like that in the future, but we just don't know what it is yet. Happy Webster asked, can you carve out a mountain and make a city? Well, I wouldn't say we carved out a mountain, but we definitely carved our way into a mountain. The stairs are all completely destroyed. They've been demolished by griefers. But it's kind of funny. Now it's a death trap. We've actually found a lot of dead griefers on the other side of our build, because there's kind of a place where when they're sprinting, they kind of jump off the side of a cliff, and it's instant death when they do. But players will definitely be making marketplaces that exist in their cities, and they might even ask for payment to have access or something like that in the future. The Grand Exchange, yeah. Yeah, I think having some way of creating a disparity between the markets is what's going to actually allow people to make money off of the game. And what I mean by make money off of the game, I mean is make money in game, not real money stuff. But here you can see what's left currently of the Golden City. We're going to try and repair it for an event that we're going to be running here, but not as grand as it used to be. We just had people run by and delete things randomly because they felt like deleting things. I think maybe their mommies didn't love them enough when they were younger or something. Who knows? And Gonzaga's totally right. There's gold in the game. A lot of different random things will drop it. There's just nothing to do with it yet. I would expect that there's going to be some uses for gold. Maybe the ability to get additional plots or something like that. Entirely possible. We're going to go ahead and teleport down to another shrine here. Start a little journey. I'm not going to stop believing. We're going to try and get to a cave of sorts as well. So we'll get there in the near future. going to have to follow a road here. If we don't follow the road, it's going to be pretty bad. Bird Dog asked, I thought PvP wasn't part of the testing currently. People can grief your builds. They absolutely can. PvP doesn't exist, and they absolutely can grief our builds, but only because we let them. So what I mean by that is that giant build that you saw there was because of the fact that we built so much. We essentially we had to keep moving our plots. So we were no longer protected, and we're going to toast this fox right here. Boom. You guys ever had toasted fox before? But yeah, no, we kept on building, and we kept on moving plots, which meant that we were leaving other stuff unprotected. So for whatever reason, players were just going by, they saw our stuff, and they said, you know what, we're going to delete things. So then they walked around and they deleted all of the hard work that we put in to make look pretty. But in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because this is an alpha and everything was going to get deleted anyways. So it's not a big deal. But it does... every time I do look at it, I'm like, oh man, it looks so great. I wish I could have shown it off a little bit more to you all before it kind of fell apart. And yes, Don, I would imagine that gold is going to be something that is used in the future for something like that. Definitely. For trades. And Gonzaga, that might actually be what ranged combat is, but in the future, I'm pretty sure different spells and types of magic. We know that there's going to be like 8 different types of magic or something like that. And there's also like spirit magic, divine magic, a couple of other types of magic as well that all stem from different ways of gaining that power, right? Divine magic is something that's granted by the divine, whereas spirit magic is something that naturally exists in the world. And Happy Webster, humans are the only type or race of playable character. Yes. What would be interesting too about gold, on the subject of gold, is whether or not it would be something that like eventually players can mint themselves. I would also expect that there's going to be some sort of mechanism for taxing players or something like that, and that might have to do with the kingdom system and allowing players to be taxed or something in that way, is what I could see. And if you see me looking down, that's because I actually have Twitch chat open on my phone, because the stream's running okay and I don't want to mess with it to pull up Twitch as well. But we were able to fix Twitch, which is great. Hopefully Pickle is keeping everyone occupied moderating the Twitch chat. Thank you, Pickle, for doing that. Grumpy Old Grim, shamanism and demonic magic is also another type of magic as well. Thank you for bringing that up. We actually have, for those of you who are interested, tomorrow we are going to have a really cool video featuring Grumpy himself. We're going to be going through a build that he did actually nearby, and it's definitely a fun Creators of the Creation episode. You'll definitely enjoy it, and you should totally check it out when it comes out tomorrow in approximately about 7.5 hours, I think. Definitely worth checking. We're going to heal ourselves here. Toasted Fox looked like pyromancy. It is. My character is definitely going to be a priest type with light magic and healing buffs and cleanses. Yep. Definitely something that is going to be a lot of players' goal in the game. That would be really embarrassing if I went and died on stream, wouldn't it? That's not gonna happen. Not today. We are gonna have to heal ourselves. This is actually a pretty thick wilderness area here. There's a lot of animals all congregated in one place. Also a good place to gather some hide. Wondering when Pax Dei looks so pretty. I can't wait to see how combat evolves. I've always been a fan of sword and dagger or sword mage styles. Yeah, I do hope that they add the ability to kind of dual wield in game. I mean, they have single-handed weapons and they allow for offhand wielding of shields and torches. So it would be really cool if they added being able to like dual wield swords or daggers, or have a sword and a short sword or something like that. It'd be really awesome. I did. I definitely did put a whole bear in my pocket. And down here, down by the river, is actually where Grumpy's build is that we do our next Creators of the Creation episode at. You can see him right over there. Should be able to try and. One-handed sword and a one-handed spear at the same time. Let me do it. That's kind of like the Gandalf build, right? What I mean by that is, you know how Gandalf would run around with his like staff and a sword in Lord of the Rings? Now what I'm hoping for is we might be able to peek over here. Hey, it's worth the adventure, right? No farming or fishing exist in the game right now. It is something that they have mentioned to be a feature that they have planned, that they want to do. There'll be things like horticulture, vineyards, and stuff like that. And oh, thank you for reminding me. So here is the one hint. We might actually do a YouTube video on this at some point. But let me see here. Let's see. There's a way to check it. So if there's a way for me to show pending invites, that's actually a couple of hints of stuff that exists in game. We're lagging, or we're getting a higgity head out here. No worries, we will just run our way out of this. But anyways, the thing that I was talking about is when you go to invite someone, there's a demo text that shows up, and it actually kind of unveils stuff in the game. Talk about asking someone to become a priest for your clan, and that if they work hard enough, you'll allow them to become a priest, and that you also want to give them access to the vineyard, the clan vineyard, and all that. It's getting choppy. Here, we'll switch over here again. We'll restart. We will restart because that is what we do. I am sorry about the quality here, y'all. We're still finding out what the best way is to stream Pax Dei. Sometimes just a little difficult. Sometimes. All right. That should have fixed things. Like we get a full buffer or something like that. We'll boot things up. We'll boot things up. Come on, precious little computer. You only have to make it another hour. Should have fixed it, though. Let me know if it didn't. Let me know if it didn't. Looking like it did. Yeah. Audio's choppy. Do apologize for that. Yeah. So Grumpy just mentioned in the Twitch chat that the clan tab is broken. That is what caused an overload of our shaders. I do apologize for that. The card is probably getting a little tired. We're trying to hold out and upgrade when the 5000 series comes out, but we'll have to see. Ultimately, we have to do what's best for the quality. But this is looking a lot better. We definitely do. I probably need to upgrade a little bit sooner just to make sure that you all are getting some good quality. But now it's running perfectly fine. It's a temperamental game. Kind of funny how that works. It is good to always remind ourselves that it is very much so an alpha, and sometimes this stuff happens. Let's see here. How is the game compared to New World combat-wise? It's kind of a loaded question. In terms of combat, New World obviously has a more developed combat system right now. It has an actual combat system. Pax Dei has a placeholder. So the combat in Pax Dei is something that if we're even talking about comparing it to New World, then New World has failed in terms of its combat, because we're comparing something that isn't real and it's just a placeholder with something that is real and is not a placeholder. Like, this is an alpha with no actual combat mechanics, and really just kind of sit here and you swing, right? I can block, but here, watch this. 86, 78. Now let's get hit. Same amount of damage, regardless of whether or not I'm blocking or not blocking. So there's really no difference when you do block. In fact, the only thing that I do when I actually use block is it allows me to attack a lot faster, because I get through the attack animation quicker. There's no rhyme or reason for that, other than the game is still in active development and the combat is not in a even kind of first version state. So New World wins in combat, definitely, like by far. It has a great combat system. I actually love New World's combat system, but Pax Dei doesn't have one yet, so it's hard to compare. Does Magic use reagents? Carrie Griffith is asking that. Yes, it does. You can actually see that if I went to go use Divine Heal right now, it says a 90 right there. That's because it is using the Holy Water reagent to actually cast. So we can see a little demonstration of this magic here. You can see it heals me for about 40 health, and then it gives me regeneration for a couple of seconds. Which is definitely nice. Oh. So you can see here how my attack animations are super slow. You right click and use the secret jutsu, you can attack a lot quicker. Not an intended thing, but just something that does exist. Yeah, I think Pax Dei's combat system, Udajit, I think that it's we have to understand that they are trying to develop the game for multiple platforms. So I think they have to find a balance between snappiness in combat, because it is kind of an action combat system, but also have something robust enough where the network side of things and the engine side of things are able to function at the high graphical fidelity, at the high latency, and all of that. They need to be able to actually have players fighting each other. And if we learned anything from games like New World, it's that, I mean, they had to reduce the total number of players that were going up against each other in wars, because the issues with lag and the inputs that the servers were getting were just insufficient for what was needed. So we're actually going to venture off the beaten path here. And animals do have a tendency, before this particular update, there was an issue where animals were spawning on top of structures and on top of buildings. So there's a screenshot that I have somewhere. Maybe I can find it later on stream. There's a screenshot that I have where there was a pig that spawned on top of the church that we made. So here's another spell that can be used. This one is called Mez. So we saw this in one of the dev announcements, the Mez ring, and it literally mesmerizes a creature and makes them so they can't move and they can't attack for a period of time. This is really useful if you get multiple pulls, or maybe you need some extra time to heal or something like that, because they will be stunned for a period of time. It is important to note that magic is not even close in a finished system as well. These spells are definitely going to change. There are some very powerful spells that currently exist. I would say the Divine Heal is one of them. It not only heals me, but if I have someone else targeted, it heals them and gives both of us regeneration. You can pretty much recover your health bar really quickly if you use that. And if you have multiple players using it at the same time, you can make someone practically invincible as a tank. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get that way. Don, thank you for the sub. I'm going to go through at the very end and thank everyone here. I know I kind of was a little scrambled at the very beginning as we were trying to solve the Twitch problem, which we're now back on Twitch, and solve the YouTube side of things as well. I do apologize for that again. I will continue to apologize because I like to give you guys the best that you can get, and we're just not chugging on all cylinders right now, and that's okay. But I will make sure to thank everyone at the very end of this. But thank you, Dawn, for that resub or sub. And it is important that they are building out the world and fleshing things out first. I do think that they are actively working on combat, though. I think combat is something that is in very much so active development and rapid iteration. And they're just not ready to show it off yet, but I do think it's something that exists and that they're actively working on. It just, they know how important it is, and they want to give it the respect that it deserves. And that's why they're doing the way that it is. That is why they do how they do. Yeah, that's what these test runs are for, right? The first Pax FriDEI review live. It's gonna have some kinks. But the real question, for those of you who are here for the very, very beginning, how did you like that intro? How did you like that intro? It's gonna get better. This is just what we could cook together when we had some time. But golly, was it fun to film. Golly. All right, so I was hoping that we were going to be able to jump over here, but it is across a red line, so it's going to be pretty hard to teleport to. So, we're going to have to go out, around, over, and back to get to this cave. I will show you all the cave because we saw a different cave in one of my most recent videos on YouTube. So we're going to go and see some variation, some differences in that regard. You guys love the... So we're loading in Iron Port right now. It's going to take a little while to load some chunks. There we go. Oh, we found something. So one thing that I have noticed is that there are world chunks that kind of spawn in over time. So if you get to an area where you're getting close to a lot of player creations, it does have a tendency to get a little bit more choppy. That does happen. So, it's just is what it is. All right. So, while we're traveling, there was a announcement that I did have, unrelated to the alphas, but for anyone who is currently in the alpha, and for all of you, we probably will not stream it. We're going to have a video on it to make sure that it's the best quality that we can get. We might stream it, who knows. But we're going to be having a end of alpha festival, and what we're calling it is the Golden Festival. So anyone who is currently in game, for the 15 of you that are getting keys at the end of this stream, you all are going to have the opportunity to come and venture down to the Golden City in Ardennes in Innis Gallia, and we are going to have an end of alpha festival. This is going to actually be something that I want us to do now going forward. It's going to be the Golden Festival, and it's going to be so much fun. We're going to have races. We're going to have scavenger hunts. We're going to have other games, other events for us to kind of have fun and enjoy. And it's going to be celebrating the end of the first public alpha. We haven't anything more to celebrate than having the opportunity to all gather together in Pax Day for the first time. And this will happen on the last Sunday of November going forward. So as long as we have an alpha to get into, then we will go and do that. Now we are hitting some heavy lag. Let's see if we can get across the red line here, and maybe that'll fix things a little bit. But it's going to be really fun, and it'll be a fun event. We're going to try and clean the city up a little bit. I have some of the Golden Company members working on a tavern, and we're going to try and break the server. That's what we're going to try and do. We're going to break the server. That's what we're doing. We're breaking it. We're going to have as many players as we can come over here. Oh, who's this? What up, Box from Iron Ocean? So I don't know if Snorty's watching, but a member of the Golden Company decided that they needed to build a giant tower, and they took some inspiration from Grumpy here, and they built a tower. Took a little bit of inspiration from Helm's Deep, a lot of inspiration from like Skull Tower or Skull Castle or something like that, I think. But really good build. I'm glad that we were able to walk by it on our way to this cave. So what we're going to have to do here, you know what? Let's try and go up. We might as well, right? What's the worst that happens? We fall. Yeah, Grumpy, I did try and compete. I don't know which one of you has the more surface area, though. Surface area is the real question here. Oh, okay, so we're gonna have to be careful. That is definitely a pile of rocks. Is that a single? How the heck did he get that height? Definitely something worth looking into. It is definitely a single plot. All right. We're gonna be a little careful here. I don't want to accidentally jump off the side of this cliff. Or maybe I do. Let's see here. Gonna do some mathematics. You know what? Do y'all want to see us jump? I know in the live stream we had him jump and then nothing happened. Should we jump? I feel like it's something that needs to be done. Something that needs to be said about having the courage to jump off of this. Should we do it? Pickle says yeet. Happy Webster says jump. You know what? That's all I need. All right. Well, nice knowing y'all. Oh boy. Oh yes, and we survived. That is a secret technique, and I will not share that one. But do note it has been bug reported. Now we just have to survive all the wolves down here. Yeah, so only the leader of the Golden Company knows how to do that move. And it has to be executed with divine precision. Divine. Geronimo would be proud. I do have to admit, though, that Pickle was the one that unlocked that secret, sacred technique. Maybe one day I shall teach all of our viewers the way of the jump. I'll have you know that I have died by tripping on a tiny little pebble down like less than a foot. I've died from full health. But y'all saw it here first. We jumped right off of that cliff, and we didn't land just once. We landed twice, and we survived. The divine golden jump. Alright, we're going to teleport here to the shrine that's closer. Hopefully it is closer. That would be unfortunate if we end up not closer. I think we ended up closer. We did. Cool. Hang left. The wise Pickle. Master of the jump techniques. Having better armor lets you jump further. Yes. I wish that it actually allowed you to jump any farther. I'm telling you, I hope that there's some like feather fall boots, or maybe there's a cape that allows you to kind of hover or fly a bit. That would be incredible. And I would really like that. Even if it's for a short period of time, just for YouTube videos. Because right now, there's really no way. Another one that would be cool is a way to make your character invisible on screen so that you can shoot kind of like first person style shots. That's something that I have to do some trickery and sorcery on my end in order to be able to take like a screenshot or a video where my character is not actually on screen. Kind of difficult. All right, we're gonna... Is there a road that goes over here for it? We're gonna come up here. Yeah, slow fall would be really cool. Something like that. Heals with regen before impacting. If there's like Arcade. I honestly, the jump has absolutely nothing to do with actual skill. Has everything to do with your holy faith in the divine. And her ability to protect you. Even in the most treacherous of things. Like the perils of gravity in Pax Dei. Or giant lag spikes, for that matter. Alright, so you can see that we're kind of coming up on the cave. We have to find the exact entrance here. Looks like we're going to have to kind of crawl up the side of this hill before we can get in. And it's also important to note that some caves already do exist in game that aren't marked on the map. And we've found a couple so far. We haven't found all of them, but we found a couple. And by we, I mean the testers, not me specifically. I can't take credit for that. If you're interested in doing exploration like that, then that's the kind of thing that we're looking to do on this channel as the game develops and as we get to release and beyond. We want to take this channel for a ride and see if we can solve some of the bigger questions that exist in Pax Dei. Now watch. I survived that giant long jump and we get to the cave here and we eat dirt, instantly dying. That would be how it is. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, let's assess this situation here. I feel like we need to assessify. There we go. Okay, yeah, we made the right choice by going back. All right, so here is a cave. Looks like a really big one, actually. Yikes. We got multiple entrances. I think we almost have 3. I wonder what's in here. Hello? Oh. Oh. Yeah, so this is a cave entrance. It's gonna... Oh. That was a dangerous jump. That was a dangerous jump that we just made. Alright. Probably should eat something, huh? Well, we'll take care of this wolf and then we'll eat something. Oh, this wolf not taking damage anymore? Uh-oh, connection lost. There we go. Like we reconnected. I don't think we've passed over this line, but that might have been why. The caves do look really, really good. They've done a great job on them so far. Alright. So we were going to eat some food. Doggone it, we're going to eat some food. Here. Arrange some of this. Here's some gold that we picked up from something. Alright, let's go ahead and pull the wolf. Now we can do something a little cheeky here. Make him burn a bit. I actually do really like these spears of light. They look a little weird. The animation looks a little weird right now, but I do really like how you go like, ah, and then boom. spears everywhere. They're stunned. Alright, good thing to heal ourselves up. Process that wolf. The wolf had some garlic and gold on him. Classic wolf things. Alright, we do have to be a little cautious here. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Don't let your dreams just be dreams. Oh, Lord. It would help if we were able to actually hit. Then what we do, we come over here. Give him a little 1-2-zy. Look at that. Is there a give the finger action? Please be a give the finger action. Not right now. There's a no emote. I can show you guys the emotes here. Don't let your dreams be memes. Alright, here we go. The emotes. Let me put away the sword and shield here before they look really weird. We'll get in the sunlight too. Probably not the best place to be doing emotes, but when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So we have wave, lie down, beg, no, and sit. So here's wave. Y'all have seen me do that multiple times now. We got a nice little aggro though. Let's take care of that. Don't go interrupting me as I emote, Mr. Wolf. For those of you who are like, it's left click simulator, it is. Right now it is for sure left click. Oh, well, at least we got some healing potions. So, optimally, the build that I am running, you have a stun spell, you have a heal spell, and then you have a pull spell, which is the fireball. If I was not lazy, I would have also taken some healing potions, and those healing potions can be taken at the exact same time that your healing spell's going off, so it kind of like double stacks. And that's kind of what allows us to be able to stay alive a lot longer than we really should. PP Shake, nice name. This is not a replay. This is live gameplay footage. Whoa. Nice. Sick double pull. Alright. So then what we're going to do here, we're going to get some distance. Get a heal off. We're going to mez one of them. We're going to grab the other one. And we're going to be able to handle them without having to worry about our wonderful friend over there who also got aggroed. And then after we kill this one, we can heal ourselves or not. Oh. And there's that. Then heal ourselves. Straight up murdering this wolf. Will I be streaming more on YouTube in the near future? Now, normally what my general thought is that I want to be able to continue producing some YouTube videos for all of you. I would not say that our streams are going to be something that happen a lot more frequently than maybe once or twice a month. But when we do streams, they're going to be events. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing exciting stuff where we bring the community together to really celebrate and do something. So this particular stream, we're giving away 15 alpha keys, and the entries to that has already been closed, but it is, you know, something that we wanted to do to give back to the community and to do all of that. I think currently we might stream one more time for Pax Day. That'll be possibly not this upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday we'll do another one, and as a part of that we might have some giveaways. But then other than that, we have, I think, one stream currently planned for December. That's going to be a holiday stream. That'll be quite a special one where we'll be celebrating the holidays together. But we might also do a little giveaway as well for some, I think we were talking about doing some Risk of Rain giveaways and seeing how far of a marathon run we can do in either Risk of Rain Returns or Risk of Rain 2. I think it'll be Risk of Rain Returns. Respawn rates, Lefty's rule, maybe 10 minutes. I'm going to have respawns here that I'm going to have to deal with for sure. I'm definitely going to have respawns that I'm going to have to deal with. Which by deal with, I mean I'm going to run in the opposite direction, stun them and get away. So imps, super easy to deal with. You can pull a couple of them. They don't do altogether too much damage, and they have low armor and relatively low health. You can see that I'm doing a lot of damage to them right now. I was able to take 2 of them on easily. Hellions, not easy. There are probably Hellions in here somewhere, and it's not going to be fun to go up against one of those. We'll dump some stuff here. There's a lot of things that don't really get used for crafting whatsoever, so we're going to just dump those. This is one thing that I do hope they fix as well with bags. I hope things start merging together when you drop them, as opposed to like just making a million bags, because every time a player loots a bag, then you're going to get a metric ton more bags coming out over and over and over. Not sustainable. We got another double pull. And normally you don't want to go in here with one person. Definitely want to go in with a couple additional people to really be safe. We did pick up this Murex shell. Didn't unlock anything. There's still stuff that people are discovering. New crafting recipes and stuff. I think we have a couple of players that have kind of uncovered everything, but we don't really know what everything is. So it's always a question of, but did we actually discover everything? Did we really? I don't know. Did we? All right, so here we have a Hellion. We're gonna deal with the Hellion here. Oh boy. Now this is what we call a bad situation. We're going to heal ourselves and make sure that this is equipped. Looks like we got a second pull. I thought we took care of the first pull, but we did not. We did not follow, so we're lucky. Question, Eltari. What was the flame symbol center bottom of your screen a couple inches above my status bar? So there is a flame proc where different enemies or yourself can do fire damage, and if that bar goes all the way full, then it does a tick of damage, essentially fire damage. Here's the Hellion. See if we can do some fireball damage to him. He hasn't recovered his health yet, which is nice. So, technically here, we can pin that guy up. Keep hitting him with fire, and then stunning him before he gets to us. And if you had all of the time in the world, this is a very safe strategy to being able to clear out one of these dungeons. It does require a lot, but we should be able to handle him now. So we're gonna just attack. So Hellions, they do fire damage, and if that stacks all the way up, then he is going to do a decent amount of damage to me. So hopefully I can get him dead before that happens, which I did. And we picked up some golden lapis. Golden lapis. Joyful asked if there were chests that you can pick up in dungeons. And the answer to that is yes, there are loot chests that exist in dungeons. They don't say they're loot chests. They look like they're just props that exist in the game world. But if you walk up to them, you can loot them. So yes, eventually that system I think is going to be a lot more fleshed out and not just like what it is right there. But yeah. So I know in the cave video that we put out, we didn't have a chance to explore the inside here, and we got brutally murdered by a Hellion. Let's see if we can explore a little bit more before we go ahead and end the stream. So you can see these actually have a lot of similarity to a type of rune that exists outside. And this is typically an area or a fortification that we've seen Sethians in before. So it's a little different to see imps and Hellions that exist in here instead. Oh, that imp is underground. We don't like underground imps. But in terms of the lore, I'm still trying to kind of wrap my head around why these things are the way that they are. We'll take a look, see if there's enemies. So it almost looks like a sacrificial pyre of some sort. And outside is just kind of a straight drop down. But eventually these things are going to be, there's going to be random objects that we can probably look for in here and get clues as to what happened, maybe clues as to where we can go and actually uncover stuff. And that's going to be a component of the game that's going to be okay, yeah. We're getting close to those respawn timers, aren't we? Aren't we? Come here, Hellion. You're going to hit me, but it's fine. I'm going to stun the shit out of you. Andrew Warner, I'm doing great. How are you? See if we can get an extra hit on him. Oh. We are gonna have to heal ourselves a bit. See if we can get a stun off of him. Heal going. Some stuff rolling on that end. Got a couple more hits. Those were some good hits. We like those hits. Love those hits. We got him, coach. Not fired yet. Not fired yet. All right, so there are some more areas of this dungeon that can actually be explored. I think there's some areas over here. We're going to be really careful not to do that, though. This particular dungeon's right next to a red line, and we can actually cross over it back into the other side of the map. And I've been told that there's a lot of enemy spawns on the other side. We need to be careful about that. Now, we are going to get a couple of aggros here, but we are going to just run our rear ends out the back and hope we survive. We should. We should. Now, technically speaking, we can teleport out of here, and that is definitely what we are going to try and do, because that is the safest way out. I really hope that they end up restricting a lot more of when we can teleport, like you can't teleport in combat, you can't do all of those types of things, because it allows for us to do kind of corny stuff like that. But that is pretty much all I wanted to show you all in Pax Day today. We went a little bit further into a dungeon. Was there anything else that you all... I want to open the floor and answer any questions for all of you that haven't had the opportunity to get in game yet. We still have 5 more alpha keys to announce right now, and I am so close to being able to make 15 people's nights or mornings or days with these keys. We will be sending them out on Discord immediately after the stream ends, but I just wanted to give the floor to anyone who wanted to ask any more questions before we ended the stream for the night. We did a little bit more of our announcements here. Grumpy went and said, swing, 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 block. Stops that pause, and you restart the swing. Yeah, and actually, if you hold that block down, you can just swing infinitely way quicker. It just looks a little goofy on stream, so I try to not do that. So, in terms of the Discord, what Discord? There is a invitation link that I can get. I will post that right now. In fact, let's go ahead and close out of Pax Day. We'll start winding things down here a little bit for everyone. Let me just make sure we have pulled up. If you're looking to join our Discord, the Professional Gamer Discord, this is where we kind of coordinate all of our efforts, make sure that everyone has a place to hang out when we are not streaming or posting videos or anything like that. You can join that Discord by clicking on that link in the stream chat. If you're in Twitch, on Twitch, in Twitch, on Twitch, anything, you can type in the exclamation point Discord, and that should give you a Discord link there as well. It might just be that I'm the one that has to type that in, but yes. Hey Doc, I hope you're doing well as well. Long time no see. And let me just go through. I want to thank some people today. Bonzaga, thank you at the very start of the stream. Bonzaga donated 20 subs on Twitch. I think Bonzaga also donated 20 subs or memberships on our YouTube channel as well. Fujo, welcome back. Thank you for the resub. Thank you for the follow, Gers. And let me just go through all of the amazing things that you all have done. In the last 3 weeks, we've grown by over 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel started off less than 13 months ago at this point. We have already met our first milestone. We are going to be trying to get further and further along to share our small startup channel with as many people as we can, as many consumers. But Joyful Budju, thank you for gifting out the 1 community sub. Fujo, thank you for your resub. Dawn, thank you for your sub. Pickle, your resub as well. Shadowcaster, thank you for your resub. And thank you everyone else who has joined us on Twitch. I am sorry at the very beginning we were slow to getting that up and running, but I was able to, one of our IT specialists and also moderator for the channel and the Discord, Shadowcaster, was able to help me get that fixed in the middle of the stream. So super big shout out to him. He also recently boosted the Discord server. So thank you, my guy. I really do appreciate your support. Pickle, I see you've been hanging out and moderating the Twitch chat as well. And to everyone on YouTube, this is literally the first time ever in my life that we have had a live stream on YouTube. I have never done it before. Hopefully we can figure out how to get all the kinks a little bit more worked out in the future. And that we'll be able to really get the quality up for everyone. Pickle, thank you for the gifted community sub as well. Oh gosh, we have a hype train. There we go, all aboard. And I am just so grateful and so thankful for all of you being here, listening to me talk about Pax Day, watching videos on Pax Day, and hanging out in this channel. And there's only up from here. We're going to just keep on going. We're going to keep on making content for all of you and doing the best that we can to spread the word about this awesome game. And I am just delaying the inevitable right now and waiting to reveal our our first giveaway, the last of our first alpha key giveaway, and we're gonna go ahead and get to it. I do hope that all of the people who won the keys and the 5 people who are about to win the keys as well, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope all of you enjoy playing Pax Day, and that you can get in and enjoy it for the next week and some change. It is truly a fun game. There's still a lot more for it to develop into and become, and I'm really excited to follow along in this development with all of you. And it's going to be a journey, and there's probably going to be times in this development cycle when there's going to be a lot of sparse information, but that's okay, because we're going to continue to put out the best quality, high quality content that you deserve here at The Professional Gamer. JC, thank you for the gifted community sub. Ooh, thank you for the gifted community sub. Thank you all for the support. I really do appreciate it. We still have a lot of videos to come out. I'll give you a little bit of a taste of what's to come here for the future in the next week or so. We are planning tomorrow morning, 5 hours from now, 6 hours from now, 7 hours from now, actually, we're going to be dropping a new video. It's going to be the second episode of our Creators of the Creation. And this one is featuring Grumpy and his giant tower build. It is going to be cool. He is a really cool guy. He doesn't want me to say that out loud, but I'm going to, because he is. Damn it. And it is truly a fun experience to get to go around in Pax Day and have people show off their works and be able to get to talk to them and learn a lot more about them and how they build and about their communities. And we are also going to be going and visiting a member of the French community in Pax Day. They have been building out a lot of buildings off in one of the southeastern regions of Innisgalia. We're going to be recording that on Sunday. We won't have a video published for that until probably around Tuesday or Wednesday. But we're going to be going over, we have still videos planned on finalizing Pax Ian's adventure on the Fresh Start character. We are going to have a really awesome Golden Company hits a dungeon video where we go on a journey, y'all. It took us 4.5 hours to get to the dungeon. We asked Mana Junkies. He is one of the leaders of the Order of Knowledge, and he gave us the info. He told us the deets, and we went to one of the largest dungeons that currently exists in Pax Dei. Whether or not we explored all of it is still yet to be seen, but we went and we hit it, and we hit it hard. We had 13, 14, 12. We had 2 full groups of players go and hit this dungeon. We got some epic footage of us traversing the various lands to get all of the, it looks like I tried to film it like a Lord of the Rings expedition. It was intense. And Pickle, if you can link Mana Junkies YouTube, or not YouTube, Twitch channel, that would be awesome as well. But he gave us the deets and we got there. We're going to have that video coming out in the next couple of days. It might come out on Sunday. It really depends on what we're able to do this weekend. I have an anniversary that I have to get to tomorrow. So I am not producing any video content tomorrow for all of you, but we'll be back at it starting up on Sunday, and we'll get some more content for you all the way up until when the alpha ends. We're going to also have a full magic overview. We're going to go through all of the magic items that currently exist in game. And by all of the magic items, I actually mean all of the magical spells. So we have all of those crafted. We're going to unveil all of them to all of you, and that'll be a YouTube video as well. But now we are going to see the final 5 consumers that won alpha keys in this alpha key giveaway. Do you think you won? Do you think you won? So right now we have Nose Goblins, Todd, Gooey, Vicoxy, Califax, Degassi, Two Santos, Grandpasaurus, FEMA 11, Javi. Those are our first 10. We have 5 more to go. Do you think you won? Do you believe you won? Because I believe you won. You all are winners in my heart anyways, but really you're here for the alpha keys. I've held it off for too long. We need to really see who won the final 5 keys. Maybe. And that is Gratox86, Quantum Tristan, Rory the Roman, Carl Kills, and Thunder Adventures. Congratulations. Congratulations. That is a really weird way to say congrats. But these are our winners for the first alpha key giveaway that we've ever been given the opportunity to do. I'd like to say thank you to Mainframe for giving us these keys. I'm sure a lot of you are here for the keys, and I do appreciate you coming and joining us along in this journey. And I hope you stay a while. I hope that you enjoy the content that we come out with on our live streams on YouTube. And we're going to keep on going up and up from here. But that's all I have to say for today. If this is the type of content that you like, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Like if this is the type of content you enjoy, and share with any of your friends who might be interested in Pax Dei. Until next time, I am Altari, the professional gamer. Thank you again for joining us on this first Pax Friday live stream, consumers. And we are going to let it off with that amazing final intro video for the professional gamer. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. We will be publicizing our next live stream, so I'll see you around.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. I've been playing video games my whole life. I love them. I remember the excitement of opening my first gaming console and the joy that brought me. That joy is the same joy that we're looking to bring to our viewers. We're forward thinking. I love the company, I love the people. As my dad always said, you're only as good as the people you're around. Altari's in a really unique position. He isn't tied down to any specific genre. There's the FPS division, the RTS division, the MMORPG division, and the indie development and unique products division. Between these 4 core pillars, Altari is able to compete at any game-based entertainment medium on the market today. This success hasn't come without its adversity. Some of our competitors have called us washed out. But we've never really focused on the growth. We've focused on satisfying our viewers like our founder did, and that's really what propelled our growth.
Yes! Oh, I'm so good. You know you are producing peak entertainment when you're too busy having fun to worry about the content.
Oh my god. Ow. Ow.
It's awesome. I love it. I really do love it.